Okay, welcome back. Once again, I'm Nicodemus Kane. Today is January the 12th of 2023. I am thinking about it. Tomorrow is a 113. Tomorrow we should be careful. Watch out for the things that they may have planned for us. Those evil powers that are in charge. We already saw interesting things happen yesterday, which was a 111. They sure do like their symmetrical numbers. With this FFA or FAA, is that what it is? I don't even remember now. It's the apparently their computers went down. So many people on Twitter think that they have it. They know exactly what happened. Oh, there were solar flares, or oh, there was reports of cyber attacks, or oh, this is something else that's going on. The truth is, you don't know what happened. You have what they say happened and what you believed happened. We don't know for sure. I doubt it was a real thing. I'm sure that they did it to cover up for something else that was going on in the background. But whatever it was, they played their hand on something. Something happened. So now, tomorrow is 113. We have seen the 113 or the 311, however you want to look at it. And I'm not just saying that because there's a band with the name 311. It's amazing how you say that stuff and everybody's like, "Oh, you mean like the band?" Yeah, I mean, like the band. I'm not saying that the band was in on it, but you never know. But no, you see that coding in movies, in TV shows, in different places. So you have to understand that it's all part of it. So I always tell everybody, be wary. January the 13th, March the 11th, and if you want to know the coding on March the 11th, go back 3 years. Go back to March 11th, 2020, and you tell me if they had anything planned for an 11-3 or a 311. Or November the 3rd. There's been a lot of talk about November the 3rd, too. There was, was it 2019? The one kid, the video actually got around. There was one kid that, he was young too. He sounded young. At least the guy I heard was young. There was other people talking about it as well, but they were talking about all of the encoding that he was seeing, all of the propaganda that was coming around was pointing to something happening in Seattle on November the 3rd. And he was saying that it was going to happen in 2019. Well, nothing happened. But I kept saying, keep the number in your head. You've got 3 different times during the year that number will pop up, and you have to be careful with it. It's either going to be January 13th. January 13th came and went, and then March the 11th came. And that's when the world turned on its head. And then, of course, November the 3rd came that year, and I kept saying, keep your eye out. Keep your eye out. Nothing happened then, but by that point, by November 3rd of 2020, Seattle basically had a bomb dropped on it. Again, think about what happened in 2020 between March the 3rd and November the 3rd. And actually, I think that stretched all the way through January. I think the whole Seattle debacle stretched all the way through to January of 2021. I don't remember anymore. I didn't pay too much attention to it because I was so flabbergasted at the fact that we would allow that to happen. But of course, they wanted it to happen. They wanted people to see that when the teenagers rose up, that they could take over a city. And it's just like the Seattle police just let them. The National Guard just let them. It is absurd. It is absolutely absurd that that happened. But of course, that's a totally different thing for a totally different time. But just tomorrow, keep an eye out. You've already had something happen yesterday. Just watch out. Watch out for the day, and watch out for tomorrow too. I also want to warn everybody right now that I had to update my computer. It's amazing that we had Windows updates yesterday as the FAA computers were going down. But I had to update my computer so everything's running slow and stupid. And I can tell you right now, my levels don't look right. There may have been an update that did something. I don't know. So if I don't sound right, if it's not all working the way it should, it's because of the update. Also, we have a big storm right now that's heading for us. There's a pretty big storm that's going to flush over Indiana. It's supposed to be heavy rain for the next couple hours, and then it's supposed to get really cold and it might even snow. So this is going to be interesting. Hopefully we don't lose power. I don't think we will. I hope we don't. You never know. Our electric company, last year, we had a big storm go through in May that completely obliterated the power structure out here. We had 5 poles down our street that went down. They blew over. That's how old the poles are out here. And they got blown over, and we were without power for 36 hours, I think. It's either 30, it might have been 40 hours. It was almost a day and a half, or it was more than a day and a half, I should say. Might have been 32 hours. I don't remember exactly what it was. Of course, I see those numbers now, and now I'm thinking, shit, I went through all the bad numbers. Damn it. 33 hours. Nicodemus Kane, Illuminati confirmed. No. It is interesting, though, that the 33 just keeps on popping up, and everybody's like, oh, numbers mean nothing. Okay, man, whatever you say. There was some bill that was just signed in, oh, goodness. It wasn't Congress, it was somewhere else for some $33 million something. One of the guys that I followed retweeted it, and it was, some Republican congressman or something saying, well, this $33 million bill will yada 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 yada, and all I can think is 33, you say? Really? Anyways, just know that if the electricity goes out, if the cable goes out, whatever happens, I will try to re-record this and hopefully get it back out. I just, we're gonna pray to the Father that he continues to let us go ahead and keep reading today, because we are going to read Jeremiah 28 today. I said we were going to do it today because yesterday I got on a tear about talking about other stuff. So today we are definitely going to read Jeremiah 28, and then tomorrow, like I said, we are going to read, unless something else happens, tomorrow we're going to read Ecclesiastes 2, because I said I can't leave well enough alone, and I can't just leave that book unfinished. I only wanted to read the first one just because it was brought up at the dinner that I had at my father-in-law's. So I want to go ahead and go through it again, or go through the whole book. It's a short book. What did I say? It's 12 chapters. That's nothing. That's 12 chapters. So, anyways, chapter 28, Jeremiah, chapter 28. Let's go ahead and do this. And I heard thunder a little bit ago. There's no lightning over us just yet. It's not supposed to hit us until 8 o'clock, and it's only 6:14. So it's not supposed to really hit us They said over an inch of rain, and I don't know how much water we have in the sump right now. I do worry still because, we still have the basement that is all torn up because it got flooded last year. We still haven't fixed it because we just cannot get that money together. We're trying to get through the probate process with my mother so that we can get her properties, maybe sell her properties, which would be nice, and that we can use the money that we get from that so that we can fix up this house. We think that is probably the most appropriate and amazing thing that the Father could ever give us, and I could only ask that He help us through that process. Now, hopefully, get the basement fixed. That would be nice. I could tell you what, man, if we we said even if we could get out of her 2 properties, because she has 2 properties. She has one here and she has one in Florida. Both of them are kind of garbage. They're not anything worthwhile. But, I mean, if we can pull between the 2 of them $50,000 after taxes, man, $50,000 will fix this house. That'd be amazing. That would be securing a future, at least for our kids, for the grandkids. Because I know that, they had trouble and they had to go somewhere and they lived with us. And it was a good thing. We bought this house for a reason. It's big enough that if there is something that happens in the world, they can come to us and live with us. So that's what we're shooting for. And hopefully something that we can leave with them. I know that a lot of people would say, well, I don't know why you're preparing for your future here because everything is falling apart. And you even say yourself, yeah, I even say myself. Because you just don't know. You don't know what the future's going to hold. All you can do is pray to the Father. Ask Him what to do, where to go. We've prayed for this many times and asked Him. And He's told us to prepare ourselves. Not only spiritually, but physically here. He's shown us that it's okay for us to get ready, to prepare our house, to prepare ourselves. So that's what we're doing. When it comes time for us to run to the hills, He has told us to run to the hills. We've already got that set up and ready to go too. All we have to do is just grab our bags and go. Always be ready and prepared. And just remember also that when that time comes, that if you are outside of your house, don't go back to your house. Remember that it said that they shall not go back to their house to get their garments, to get whatever it is, that they should run to the hills. They will flee to the hills, and God will provide you. Something similar to that. It's been a while since I've read that part. We're not reading that, though. We're reading Jeremiah 28 today. I know, I have to get back on track. My mind is all over the place. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's like I said, we still have so many other things going on today. And I feel nervous today. I don't know why. I feel anxious. And I don't know why. It's just Thursday. I don't know. I don't know why I feel so weird. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe we should watch out. Keep an eye out on things that couldn't happen. Who knows? Anyways, Jeremiah 28. Father, please give me calm and peace of mind. Give us your word. Show us the things that you need us to see. Let us hear the things you need us to hear. And it came to pass the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year, and in the 5th month, that Hananiah the son of Azur the prophet, which was of Gibeon, spake unto me in the house of the Lord, in the presence of the priests and of all the people, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of the hosts, the God of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke. Pardon me. That came out of nowhere. I am very sorry. Let's try verse 2 again. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon. Within 2 full years will I bring again into this place all the vessels of the Lord's house, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took away from this place, and carried them to Babylon. And I will bring again to this place Jeconiah the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, with all the captives of Judah, that went into Babylon, saith the Lord. For I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Okay. So straight off the bat, first thing I want to say is this is not the Hananiah that was with Daniel in Babylon. We talked about this yesterday. There are like 12 different Hananiahs in the Bible. So this is not the same one. This is the son of Azar the prophet. Who was Azar the prophet? Let me pull out my concordance here. Why am I looking at Jeremiah 17? What the heck happened here? It's probably because I didn't enter it in. Because again, everything is all messed up because of the updates. Azar the prophet, he that assists, the name of 3 Israelites. A Benjamite of Gibeon, father of the false prophet Hananiah. A Benjamite of Gibeon. Gibeon is the hill city. Levitical city of Benjamin. Well, it's about 5 miles from Jerusalem. It's a place in Palestine. Okay, I'm sure if you look further into Gibeon, you'd probably find that it is full of some bad stuff. You never know. Usually these cities, when you really get down into them and, it says, such and such was from this place, such and such was from that place. And you look into the backgrounds of it and you find out that, these people were doing all of this stuff and doing all that stuff. And then you follow the names, follow the bloodlines, and follow it back, and you find out that, these are some bad people. I'm not going to do that. You can do that on your own time. Let's just understand that this is Hananiah, the son of Azar the prophet, from Gibeon, who came. So let's read it, starting at the top. And it came to pass the same year, this is the same year that Jeremiah went through the, where was it at? He went to the people and he was saying, for all of those that try to run away from what is coming, that God said, I'm going to send this to you. And if you let yourself be taken captive, if you let yourself be ruled over by these people, you will be fine. You will get through this. But if you run away, if you resist, if you try to resist what's coming, you will die by the sword. You will die by the famine. You will die by the pestilence. All these things will come upon you. The reason I made the video yesterday, because I just talked about it on Tuesday, and then I had some guy telling me that I had to give up everything I had to the powers that be simply because God says so. And I said, God tells us that we are supposed to be ruled over when that time comes. But God never said to break his commandments. God's commandments rule over what the powers that be tell you. When the powers that be tell you that you're supposed to go out and you're supposed to worship a statue at a certain time every day, and if you don't fall down to it, you can get killed or hurt, then you get killed or hurt because you're not supposed to bow down to false idols. When the powers that be tell you that you cannot pray to yourself anywhere, it doesn't matter, anywhere. I just saw there was a video the other day. There was a woman that was standing outside of an abortion clinic in England, I think. And she was arrested because she wouldn't move. She wanted to stand there and quietly pray. And the police arrested her. It doesn't matter what those laws say. If you want to pray to God, you pray to God. You can be ruled over, subject to the kings of this world. But that doesn't mean you break the commandments of God. Everybody wants to use Romans 13? I think it's what it was. Everybody wants to use that as like a baseline of giving yourself up. Giving yourself over to a completely wicked and evil system to not fight back. No, that's not what it says at all. Your Bible says to fight back with the sword of the Spirit. It is a spiritual battle. The Bible constantly tells you to speak up, to call out evil where it is, to show the people the truth. And if the people don't like it, and if they decide to take you up and to condemn you for it, then you pray to God. You pray to Him that He will pull you out of it. And if you have the faith, if you have faith enough that He can do it for you, then He will. That's what the Bible says. I will resist whatever my government tells me to do if it breaks what my God tells me to do. When that time comes, I will stand firm and I will say no. Because there will be a time. Because it says in the book of Revelation, everyone will worship at the beast. Except those that don't. He causes all, great and small, rich and poor, yada, yada, yada. Except those that didn't take the mark. I talked about this yesterday. There were people that didn't take it, that John saw sitting on the thrones in heaven. Those people that didn't take the mark of the beast. There is a resistance that will happen. There will be those that will be martyred for not taking it. Those that lost their heads. Those that were killed. That's why everybody likes to talk about the guillotines. Apparently America, I don't even know if it's true or not. But there was something big happening, what was it, 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. Big uproar about the government, the United States government bought like 200 or 300 guillotines. It's like, where in the hell did that come from? You will be condemned. You will be martyred. You will be persecuted for resisting. And people will see that. And people will get scared. And they'll take the mark of the beast simply because they don't want to be killed. Why will they be killed? Because they don't have enough faith. Because they would rather live in the lie. Because this lie is more comfortable than hearing the truth. You have to understand that. You have to be willing to give up everything. It's one thing Christ told you the entire time. You have to be able to give up everything. Drop everything you're doing and follow me. That's what it comes down to. You will lose everything. You might as well get used to it. You will lose everything in order to follow Christ, including your life, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter, because the life in this world means nothing. We found out in Isaiah, it said that the former things of this world will not be remembered, nor will they even be brought back to mind. It means that you won't even worry. You won't even care. New body, new name, new life. Keep that in mind. Think about that. Keep that in mind. But it came to pass, the same year, at the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, the Zedekiah king of Judah, in the 4th year, and in the 5th month, that Hananiah, the son of Azur the prophet, this is not the Hananiah that was with Daniel, which was of Gibeon, spake unto me in the house of the Lord, in the presence of the priests and of all the people, saying, spake unto me, Jeremiah. So while Jeremiah was in the house of the Lord speaking to the people, this Hananiah comes in, and he says, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon. This was within the same year of Jeremiah coming in and saying, if there is anyone that comes in and says that the pillars, the sea, which was the basin, the bases, the residue of the vessels, if anyone comes into this house and says that all of the things shall come back into this house before it's all over, that they are a false prophet, they are prophesying lies to you. This was in the same year. Jeremiah's sitting right there, and he's like, oh, come on, man. You know, it's within the same year. He got the word from the Lord saying, if anybody comes in and says it, watch out. This is a man of God getting the word of God, saying there's going to be people that's going to come into this house and speak against me. That's what this was. False prophets. Why? Well, I don't know. You know, I've been thinking about this. At the time, the priests were running the house of the Lord the way that they wanted to. There was something going on in the background. Whether they were, becoming money changers, whether they were profiting somehow from all of this, profiting from the lies that they were preaching, I don't know. I don't know why anybody would come in and lie, other than to lead people astray. Maybe give them there you go, right there. It's the soft words. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be all right. The entire world is falling apart, but God wants you to be happy and rich. Does that sound familiar? We're going through a very bad depression, and nobody has money, but God says if you pray to Him, He will make you rich and powerful. Just make sure that you pay your money. Pay your tithe. Does that sound familiar? That is a prosperity gospel. This is the same concept. He is speaking the soft words that people want to hear, that tickle their ears. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It is that he is saying something that the people want to hear so that it will lift himself up. I could come on here and say that all day long too. Everything's going to be just fine. Don't worry about it. No problem. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing my damnedest to just read the Bible, just try to figure it out. But there are so many others out there, and I've heard them on YouTube, that will go out there and they'll say the exact same things that I say, and then they will put a positive spin on it. Or they will tell you, well, you don't have to worry about this, is Old Testament anyways. And then you miss the message entirely. It seems like we've been programmed. We've all been programmed to understand the line that it's Old Testament, you don't have to worry about that. We've been programmed to believe that as you don't have to worry about that. That's for completely different people. No. When you accept the salvation of Christ, you are brought into the family. You are grafted into the tree of Israel. We've talked about this before, too. We are grafted together with the people. We talked about Isaiah. Said that at the end of the days, when the Gentiles will come to God. Actually, I think that might have been Jeremiah too. Both books say almost the exact same thing. The Gentiles will come to God saying, surely we have inherited lies. We have inherited the lies of our fathers, and they will be brought in with the people, with the Israelites, and they will plant their gardens, they will build their houses, they will be intermingled with the people, because you got to remember, for the longest time, the Israelites were told, stay away from the Gentiles, stay away from the people. But God said at the end times, no, I will bring them in because they want to believe. They want to be a part of this. They are more than willing. They will be more willing than you are to follow my ways, and I will accept them. That was the whole thing that happened with Christ too. Christ came for his people. His people turned away from him. So when they crucified him, Christ went to Paul and said, all right, you go tell the Gentiles that they can come, because my own people don't want me. You go tell the Gentiles it is time for them to come to me. And that's where we are. But you get grafted into the family. You get grafted into the covenant. You get grafted into the laws. Now, I'm not saying the laws of Moses. I am starting to understand that, yeah, there is a difference between the commandments of God and the laws of Moses. I'm still on the hunt for the disconnect between the two. But God made a lot of commandments, and he also made laws. So I'm doing my best to try to figure out what is and isn't an ultimate commandment of God, other than the 10 Commandments. I get the 10 Commandments, sure, but there are other commandments that he told us not to do. Outside of Deuteronomy, outside of Numbers, outside of what people would say, well, see, the law is right here. And it's like, yeah, but what about when he commands Jeremiah to go tell the people something? What about whenever he commands Isaiah to go tell the people something? That's a commandment of God. Are you going to follow that too, or does that get wiped away as well? And if that gets wiped away, then why does the phrase God is the same as he was yesterday, today, and tomorrow? Because a lot of people seem to think the concept is when he makes a new covenant with us through Christ, that God changes. God does not change. God is the same. He does not change his mind. He said he would make a new covenant, and he did. But he's the same person. Not person. He's the same God. His word is the same. His word has not changed. You don't get to cherry pick the commandments of God. They're there for a reason. And there's so many people out there that'll just, they go on and on about, oh, well, that's the law. You're not supposed to follow the law. It's a commandment of God. I can go over and over in this all day long. It's a commandment of God. If God tells you to do something, just do it. Wait. Anyways. So, verse 2, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, this is Hananiah talking, the God of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon. Within 2 full years will I bring again into this place all the vessels of the Lord's house, which Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took away from this place, and carried them to Babylon. And I will bring again to this place Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, with all the captives of Judah, that went into Babylon, saith the Lord. For I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Now, Hananiah is sitting here saying, within 2 years, I'm going to bring everything back. I'm going to break the yoke of Babylon. I'm going to bring it all back. I'm going to give you the soft words that you want to hear, and everything's going to be just fine, hunky-dory. Follow me. Follow me. Come listen to me. Come listen to me. Come give me your ears. Which we know this is all garbage, because we read in the last chapter, in 27 I think it was, might have even been 26, where Jeremiah himself, who'd had the word of the Lord, had said that the people of Israel would be in Babylon for at least 3 generations. 2 generations. They would be in while Nebuchadnezzar was there, while Nebuchadnezzar's son was there, and while Nebuchadnezzar's grandson was there. Only after that would we even remotely start talking about bringing everything back. It's Hananiah saying, well, you got 2 years. And of course, Jeremiah, within the year that we're talking about, he had said, beware of false prophets that tell you this kind of stuff. So let's see how it goes. Verse 5. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah, in the presence of the priests, and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Lord, even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen. The Lord do so. The Lord perform thy words, which thou hast prophesied, and to bring again the vessels of the Lord's house, and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me, and before thee of old, prophesied both against many countries, and against great kingdoms, of war, and of evil, and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. Okay, let's go back and read through this. Let's understand it, how it works. So back up to 5. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah in the presence of the priests, there's a lot of P's, and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Lord, even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen, the Lord do so. The Lord perform thy words, which thou hast prophesied, to bring again the vessels of the Lord's house, and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. He didn't immediately strike him down. He said, Amen. If that's what you think if that's what God tells you is going to happen, then amen, let it happen. We would rather that happen than anything else. It said something similar in 27, as a matter of fact. But if they wrote the word be with them, now let them make intercession to the Lord of hosts, that the vessels which are left in the house of the Lord go not into Babylon. So if they be prophets, it's 28:18, then let them make intercession with the Lord, that they don't get taken away. So he was saying, there's going to be people that's going to say that, these things aren't going to go away. But if they be prophets, let them go to the Lord. Let them ask the Lord, please don't do it. So this is him saying, if this is the word that you're getting from God, let it be so. We would rather have this good thing than have anything else. From Babylon into this place. Verse 7. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. Let what you're saying come to pass. But, verse 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against many kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, Then shall the prophet be known, that the Lord hath truly sent him. So there's been a lot of prophets before that have prophesied against many countries, against many kingdoms. This is talking about a lot of priests that have come out and they have said, we have to go and we have to kill that country because they don't believe in God. We have to go and kill this place because they don't worship the way that we worship. We don't do the things we do. Let's go create war. That is not a contradiction of the wars that God fought. You remember God pulled up kings and told them, go take these lands. Take these lands, kill these people. All these people that I said were cursed from the beginning of time, that these families, these family names that I have said that, on the other side of the flood, they're going to be cursed, that are going to turn into giants, are going to turn into all of these evil, wicked, disgusting things. Go wipe them off the earth so that you can survive. That is not the same as the priests that were prophesying against these places of doing wars. It's like, oh, you know what I'm going to say. It's like the Crusades. It's like the Crusades. These other nations don't follow our religion. Therefore, we need to wipe them out. That's your Bible speaking against that. If anybody ever gets onto you saying, why would you follow a religion that, would do something as bad as the Crusades? You simply say, well, there's nothing in the Bible that said that we had to go do the Crusades. As a matter of fact, the Bible speaks against it. When God comes to the kings and tells the kings, the rulers of this world, hey, you need to go wipe these people out, and because there's a very specific reason, there was a very specific reason why he wiped those people out. The Amorites, the Amalekites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites, the whole list. There were reasons. These were the children that carried the giant's seed, the evil seed of the world. He said, wipe out the men, women, children, the animals. Don't even take the animals. The farms. Don't even farm on the land. Hold the land. Don't do anything with it. That doesn't sound like they're wantonly killing just to kill. That sounds like they're what's the term I'm looking for whenever you have to go in and the wiping the slate clean after like a virus or something. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Like, something was quarantined and then you have to go in and burn it all down because it was, I can't remember the name of that. What was the name of it? Anyways, it was scorched earth. It was absolutely scorched earth. It wasn't like he was going out and telling all the people, hey, why don't you guys go do this? You'll get good stuff out of it. No, he was saying, now that you guys are here, I want you to go and do this. If you want to live in a world that is safe from the purest evil, then go wipe these people out. Go do it. But then after that, they had many priests that would come in. They would prophesy against countries, prophesy war. That's what this is saying. Nevertheless, hear thou what I speak. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known, that the Lord hath truly sent him. The prophet. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, I know I have... we can go on and on about that kind of stuff, but that's Jeremiah saying, you're just make sure you're speaking the right thing. So verse 10, then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from off the prophet Jeremiah's neck and brake it. And Hananiah spake to the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations, within the space of 2 full years. And the prophet Jeremiah went his way. So, then Hananiah, this is verse 10, then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke off of the prophet Jeremiah's neck and brake it. He took the chains off of his neck. Now, whether it was actually a chain or whether it was, some kind of a marker or something to show that, they were slaves. They're not really slaves. They were just in captivity. They weren't, for whatever reason, the Babylonians let the Israelites keep their religion. They let the priests freely go in and out of the temples, probably to keep them under control. Usually whenever you go take over somebody's country, the first thing you do is you destroy the religion, because if you let that religion stay there, it will eventually lead to an uprising, because that's just what, especially Christianity, because Christianity is about rebellion against the evils of this world. If you have enough faith behind you, you can fight any war you want. But he took the yoke off of Jeremiah's neck, and he broke it. And Hananiah said in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 years, 2 full years. And the prophet Jeremiah went his way. So this is Hananiah, a priest, saying, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be broken off. Is it going to be broken off in peace? No, it's going to be broken off in war. And Jeremiah saw that, and he said, you know what? Fine. You're not listening. I'm going to walk away. I had to take a little drink of water. So, this is Hananiah saying this is what's going to happen. So Jeremiah said, all right, fine. We'll see. We'll see. So, verse 12. Then the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah the prophet. After that Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from off the neck of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Thou hast broken the yokes of wood, and thou shalt make for them yokes of iron. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and they shall serve him, and I have given him the beasts of the field also. It's another one of those things where it's like, when you're trying to take over a nation to gain power, to gain fortune, to gain wealth, you don't kill the beasts of the field. But God, when he told them to go kill all the people of a certain place, he said kill the animals too. Well, that wasn't trying to get wealth and power, and he was doing something else. Keep that in mind. When people tell you that God is a jealous, evil, cruel monster that just goes and wantonly kills women and children and all this other kind of stuff for no reason at all, you tell them no, that's not what that was about. But we're not back there. We're in Jeremiah right now. So verse 12. Then the word of the Lord, and I just saw the lights flicker. I am hoping that the power doesn't go out, because if the power goes out, the laptop goes out. Because my battery on my laptop doesn't work. So it has to be plugged in all the time. So usually if the power goes out, I got maybe 20 seconds on my laptop before it dies. And, it dies. So, Father, please let us keep going. I can hear the rain out there. It's getting worse. Verse 12. Then the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah the prophet. After that, Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from off the neck of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Thou hast broken the yokes of wood, but thou shalt make for them yokes of iron. So apparently they had yokes of wood around their neck. And again, I have this idea in my head that, they might have just put these like wooden yokes. Maybe they have like a chain hole, or maybe it's like some kind of a marker, just to show, this is a slave. You're supposed to wear this all the time. But he says, you're gonna make it worse. You're already in yokes of wood. If you go run your mouth off and tell the people that you're going to come back, or you're going to be able to break the yokes off of the necks of all the nations, you're going to make it worse. They're going to make it yokes of iron, and you're not going to be able to break them off your neck. It's not going to be that simple. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, and they shall serve him, and I have given him the beasts of the field also. I have put a yoke of iron. It's not going to be that easy to break those yokes. A wooden yoke, it could be easy to break off, but these are going to be yokes of iron. They're going to be on there. You're not getting them off. You're going to have to put up with this. Verse 15, Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, Hear now, Hananiah, the Lord hath not sent thee, but thou makest this people to trust in a lie. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will cast thee from off the face of the earth. This year thou shalt die, because thou hast taught rebellion against the Lord. So Hananiah the prophet died the same year, in the 7th month. Let's read through that. 15. Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, Hear now, Hananiah, the Lord hath not sent thee, but thou makest this people to trust in a lie. Hold on. Hananiah came in, and Jeremiah, a true prophet, one that had been a prophet since he was a kid. You gotta remember, Jeremiah was a kid when he started this whole thing. He came in and said, Lord didn't send you. You're speaking a lie, and we can tell. We can hear it. You're one of those false prophets that speak the soft words that tickle people's ears. You're having them hear what you want them to hear, or what they want to hear, so that they can trust in you. That whatever ulterior motive you have, whether it be power, whether it be wealth, whether it be vanity, probably vanity, because all things are vanity, whatever it is, you're lying to them. That God says you're lying. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will cast thee from off the face of the earth. This year thou shalt die, because thou hast taught rebellion against the Lord. Rebellion against the Lord. Not rebellion against Nebuchadnezzar. Not rebellion against any false gods. Rebellion against the Lord. If God tells you you're going to be taken into captivity, you're going to be taken into captivity. When God hands it down and commands you, follow what they want you to follow, do what they want you to do, then you worry about it. Then you say, okay, fine. God said this, God said that. But when the kings that have taken you over have told you to do something that God has commanded you not to do, pray on it. Ask the Father what you should do. And if God says, If God does not counter or contradict his own word, which he will not do, your Bible itself says he is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and his word holds forever, then you don't listen to the king. The kings, the rulers, the powers of this world. It's going to come down to that point. I can go on and on about this. The system that's being set up, that great beast system that we talk about at the end of time, that a lot of people have said, oh, well, it's still coming. We haven't even seen the Great Deception yet. Oh, the beast hasn't appeared from the waters yet. We haven't seen the scarlet whore. We haven't seen the two witnesses. We haven't seen this and this and that and this and that. And that we're all just waiting for the rapture. A lot of people say a lot of things. What we are seeing, though, is we are seeing a monetary system, an economic monetary system, that will be based around giving up not only freedom, but giving up your ideology. In some cases, you could make the argument that you will be giving up some theology. As in, they could very easily say, because people that follow Christ believe this, 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 and this, and because those preachings don't conform to our new world order, then you can simply not be part of this system. It's going to be very easily happen that way. The Catholic Church is making a one world religion. The Pope has pushed and pushed and pushed, and he's getting his way. He's been out there talking about this Chislam nonsense. He's getting together with rabbis. He's getting together with Muslims. He's getting together with all these other people. And they are slowly but surely forming this one world religion to where everybody believes in the same exact thing, which is not true. Our God is not their God. It is not at all. But they want you to believe that. No, we all pray to the same God. The Vatican also believes in a one world government. And that has pushed for a one world government for years. They think that it's the best way to have everybody be at peace, is for everybody to follow the same rules. They believe in a one world currency because, again, they think that it's the best way for everybody to get along. This is what the Catholic Church thinks. This is what the Vatican thinks. Again, I'm not dragging on every single Catholic person in the world. Everybody can be manipulated and lied to just like everybody else. But that's what the upper powers of the Catholic Church believes. That's what the Vatican believes. This is what they've been pushing for a long time. Since the 70s, the 60s, they've been pushing it for a while. What we've seen in China has been, wow, that was heavy thunder. What we've seen in China has been a social credit system to where if you do something bad, you get things taken away from you. It is very easy that could come to America slowly but surely. They could push it more and more and more over the past several years. As a matter of fact, people have been getting judged more and more based upon what they say, how they say it. There's going to become a big push within the next couple of years, I'm sure, about saying the right things. We have seen a lot about calling people certain names, calling out certain people. And it's going to get to the point to where if you say something that goes against even a political power, that you will be censored. You will be taken off the map. You will not have a voice. Once you don't have a voice, what are you going to do? But that's just having a voice. So with digital currency, again, I've talked about this before, with digital currency, if you don't have the cash to be able to buy and sell, and everything is determined upon a computerized chip, they could very easily say, well, we've already silenced your voice on the internet. Now we can just go ahead and take your money away. They did that, supposedly, I don't know if it was true or not. Everybody says it was, to the truckers in Canada. The truckers in Canada that, did the whole blockade thing because they were tired about the mandates. They took all their money away. At least as far as I know. I don't know if that's true or not. If it's true, then it's them saying, hey, look what we can do. Don't screw with us. I have not seen very much pushback on that. I've not seen very much pushback at all because people are just sitting on their hands. There are enough people out there that are yelling and screaming about this stuff, but nobody seems to listen. Because again, people choose to believe the lie instead of hearing the truth. But they've shown you they can do it. If you fight your government, we can quite simply take everything you have away from you. And it's going to get to a point. Remember, evil snowballs. It gets bigger and bigger as it goes. It will go from, you cannot speak out against this. You cannot tell the basic truths about this. It will go from that to, if you speak up because you follow a specific religion that we do not believe in, we can turn your chip off, turn your money off. You will have to follow what we say. You will have to listen to a God that is not your God in order to get your money. Therefore, you will have to worship at the image, at the feet of our God, the God that this system has made, this beast system has made, in order to get your money. If you bow down to it, you will be going against the commandments of God. You can live in the system, but not follow the system. So what happens if you don't follow the system? Well, you don't get money. You don't buy or sell. So what? Trust that God will provide for you. When they come for the people, when they come to persecute and sacrifice the people, and they will, believe me, they will. Because they can't just have you just sitting around doing nothing. When the Bank of England went off of their gold standard back in the 1800s, 1700s, I can't remember. They went door to door busting in, taking people's gold. They cannot have any ounce of gold. They cannot have any detractors. They cannot have any voice that will speak up against their system. They will hunt you down in the streets. People think that's crazy. I told that to my mom. She thought I was nuts. She said, "Oh, you sound like every movie from the 70s. Oh, they're trying to kill everybody. They're trying to do this and do that." Like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. They showed you those movies because That's that's what they want you to understand. They want you to understand this is what's going to happen. You have to resist. You don't have to rebel against God. Actually, not breaking the commandments of God is not rebellion against God. God tells you that you're going to be going into slavery and that you're going to have to follow the system up to a point. Sure, yeah, fine. But don't go worshiping the feet of other gods. Don't break your commandments. Let's do that one again now. Verse 16. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will cast thee from off the face of the earth. This year shalt thou die. Thou shalt die, because thou hast taught rebellion against the Lord. It is not rebellion against the Lord to not do something that goes against the commandment of the Lord. He tells you not to worship at the feet of other gods. When they make you get to that point, you're going to have to make that choice. 17. So Hananiah the prophet died the same year in the 7th month. All right. The thunder outside seems to be getting worse and worse, so I'm going to stop before the power goes off. There was a time a couple years ago where, again, I was dead set on loading the guns, going out in the streets, trying to find the people, go out right in front of the Capitol building, right in front of the White House, whatever you want me to say, and demanding that things change. You know, if it came down to it, we'll have to start fighting somewhere. I get it now. Because for the past 2 years, God has told me, not until He is ready. Not until God tells us. God will tell us when it's time to fight back. I'm not going to sit here and say that we should do anything. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try to find out what God wants me to say. And to try to tell other people, you know, whatever He wants us to do. Pray. Ask Him what He wants you to do. Because it's a very slippery slope that's coming. You want the litmus test. I came up with this the other day, or actually the other week, a couple weeks ago. I said the ultimate litmus test is for, you know, the things of this world, for what you should or shouldn't be doing, especially when it comes to God's word, is to ask yourself the question: is it what everybody else is doing, or is it the narrow path? Because you have to remember, there are two ways. There's the broad way, which leadeth to destruction, and there is that narrow path, which leadeth to salvation. Now, you have so many people that will say they are good, wholesome Christians, that they just want good in the world. They just want peace and happiness, and to follow along and, you know, raise their kids and do everything they want to do. And yet they do all of the things that are of this world, that are of the broad way. This is why I say the great deception has already happened, because even the saints would believe it, and that many would be turned. The deception has happened. It happened a long time ago. There was never a timeline. God said this would happen, this would happen, this would happen, and this would happen. The devil doesn't play fair. It could have already happened. And then the books were changed, the history was changed, the things that we know were changed so that we won't see it, we won't understand it. Then again, it could very well be coming. I don't know. I know that we live in a world of lies. We live in an absolute world of lies. The only thing I know for sure that I was just saying this the other day, the only thing that I know for sure that every time I read this book, it proves to me something in this world that no other book in this world could show me is true. That is the Bible. The more I read it, the more I see it. This book points out the evils, the wickedness, the lies, the deception of men over and over and over. I've gotten more truth out of this book than any other book I've ever read. So with that in mind, I had to start with a blank slate. I had to say, okay, fine. If there is so much evil and deception in the world, then what does this world tell us about worshiping God? Well, this world tells us a lot about just living in this world, to not worry about every little thing that God ever said. And that is the exact opposite of what the Bible tells us. We're supposed to follow the commandments. Supposed to follow what God tells us to do. This world goes out of its way to tell us you don't have to worry about all that. That makes you think. It makes you think. So I've put that down. That is my test to see what is true in this world and what is not true in this world. Is that, does it follow the broad path or does it follow the narrow way? And many people can disagree, and that's fine. If you can prove it to me otherwise, show me. That's all I ask. That's all I've ever asked. Show me. If I can find it for myself, and if I can prove it for myself, and if God tells me this is the way to go, I will believe it. But everything that I have read, everything I have prayed for, has led me down a different path. And all I have seen for the past 5 years are people that keep following are finding that path. They're finding out that there's something more than what this world is giving us. And the worldly preachers, the worldly pastors, the people like Hananiah that speak the soft things that want to tickle your ears, they keep saying the same old stuff. And they go out of their way to condemn anybody that goes astray. They're not even trying to bring them back. It's condemnation. That's another test. That's another way to find out. Because they're not trying to bring them back. They are absolutely condemning anyone that goes against the church. It's like, I thought you were supposed to bring me back. You go looking for the lost sheep. You don't go out and criticize the lost sheep because he decided to go out. That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to bring the sheep back into the fold, not go out there and point your finger and say, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about, you're going against everything. You're supposed to bring them back. Right? Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? That's your test. That's your test. But don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't. I truly, really don't. I am just some Joe Schmo. It's amazing how I've been getting a lot of people coming to, talking about the videos, saying, I'm doing something good. Hey, that's awesome. Great. But always remember, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I know nothing. I don't have any Bible study behind me other than the year and a half where I listened to the Bible nonstop on headphones while I was working. I have what I've done on these videos where we just simply sit down and read it. I have my own personal experiences, and I have the word that I get from God whenever I pray. That's all I got. And I have been told that I am wrong, that I am a heretic, that I am preaching the wrong word, that I am not planting the proper seeds, that I am too based in the law. I've been told I'm Hebrew roots. I'm not Hebrew roots. I'm not. I don't follow the things of this world because the things of this world are tainted now. You really truly think that, 2-3 billion Christians are all going to get in when a vast majority of those 2 or 3 billion Christians of the world are following the broad path, are following the ways of this world, and that's what the Bible tells you not to do. You have to understand that something's wrong with that. I don't want to believe the lie anymore. I don't want to follow the lie anymore. I'm not Christian roots because I don't celebrate Christmas. Or Hebrew roots because I don't celebrate Christmas. I am following the will of God because I don't want to celebrate Christmas. He tells me not to do pagan rituals. Hey, guess what? We're not going to do pagan rituals. Man, I've been called so much. You get like that. You get so many people that, man, they just want to run their mouth at you. Just like, oh, no, you can't do it this way. Oh, you can't do it that way. You're not planting the right seeds. Well, I'm just trying to tell the truth. I'm trying to find good soil to plant seeds. I'm tired. For years and years and years, it seems like you guys have been throwing your seeds upon, rocks, and they're growing, but they're not growing in proper places. I'm looking for good dirt. Man. I don't get it. That's your test. If you're getting condemned for even thinking that you can go against the things of this world, maybe there's something going on there. Oh, yeah, that's right. My wife just sent me a message. She had to leave. She has to take the dogs in. And also she has to go to, I think she has to go to her daughter's house. I think they're having a thing too. I don't know. God, I hope she's okay though, man, because it's storming out there. Shit. It's a reason that I didn't leave yesterday. We were supposed to go back up north to my mom's house because we had to go get the trash cans, maybe do some more work to the house, because we're looking at February, middle of February. We're looking at like an estate sale, so we can start the process of getting this stuff out of here. I still say, if anybody likes snow globes, we got tons of snow globes. If anybody likes little like ceramic bears, like the Boyd's bears, but they're not all Boyd's. There's only a couple Boyd's. We thought that we had like a gold mine of Boyd's bears, but we don't. She only has like 2 or 3 of them. The rest of them are like from Goodwill, but she had a big collection. Horses. She loved horses. Snow globes. ceramic bears, horses, dogs, anything dogs, all that kind of stuff. If anybody's interested in that kind of stuff, let me know. I'll take pictures. I'll find a way to send them to you, and then we'll talk. I know that I'm not wild about sending things halfway across the country, but I don't know if anybody's close. I mean, we live just outside of Indianapolis, so if anybody's close, we can talk. But I know there are some people. It's amazing. The more I find people and talk to people on YouTube, the more it turns out that they live close to Indiana, and I'm like, wow. I still talk about the Flat Earth guys in Indianapolis. The only reason that I found them was that somebody watched a video, and they were like, "Hey, aren't you the guy on?" And then found me on a Flat Earth app. It's like, "Hey, aren't you the guy on YouTube?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, we live together in the same state." It's like, the hell is this? I don't know what it is, man. There's we're still the Bible Belt apparently still exists to a point. Anyways, see, I'm gonna go. I gotta get ready for work. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I don't have anything else to say. I think I've said most of everything I need to say. God bless you guys. Take care of yourselves. Watch out for the other guy. Jeez. Be prepared, like I said. And it's a Friday, too. They love to pull these things on Fridays so that you can have the whole weekend to stew on it. They love to do these things in the middle of the week, too, so that you can have, but most times some big event, something usually happens on a Friday, and it's usually between noon and, before you leave work. They do that on purpose so that you will have the opportunity to think about it before you get home, and by the time you get home, it's already on your mind. We've seen this over and over again with different events that have happened over the past 5 years. It's usually always on a Thursday or a Friday, and it's always, right around or after lunch, right before you go home, so you have enough time to be able to talk about it at work. And then by the time you get off of work, if it's something that was sad, you've had enough time to let that build up in your system. If it was something that makes you angry, then you have enough time to let that really build up in your system so that you can let it all out. I think of every single Friday that they had the riots in 2020. Every single Friday, it was, something happened, something happened here. And then it builds and builds and builds, and you're just, all you can think of is, man, by the time these people get off of work, they're going to be pissed. They don't even have to worry about, finding the pallets of bricks that they used to conveniently leave right beside the protest routes. No, these people are just going to start punching walls. You saw that. It's just, that's how they do it. That's the manipulation. It's part of the process of the lie. That's how they've gotten us to do what they want us to do. The evil powers that are in charge. You have to know this whole system is wicked. Every single bit of it. Every single bit of it's wicked. That's why we have to find God. We have to find the truth. We have to find the truth in all things. And we have to find the truth in all things, and we have to have the ability, the courage, the understanding to be able to stand up to it. Because if we don't have those basic things, then we will fall, and we will lose everything. be prepared above all else. All right, I'm going to go. You guys take care of yourselves. Love every one of you. God bless you. And I shall see you tomorrow.